Hello and welcome to Herning Pulling Arena for the first day of a weekend of Eurocup tractor pulling, where some of the best teams in Europe will be fighting for points and Eurocup glory, and naturally we hope that some of that glory will go to the Danish teams. It's also a sad occasion, as this will be the final event at this arena, which will be developed for industrial purposes in the future, but we hope that another area in Herning will soon be found. A big crowd are expected, and for those of you who are new to the sport, the idea is to pull a weighted sledge down a 100-metre track to make a full pull. This gets you a place in the final, where the winner is the tractor that pulls the furthest. As an appetizer to the Eurocup classes, we're starting with the deciding pulls in B Division, a class we followed all season. This is Bison with Bernd Clemensen. One of only 3 full pulls, and this is his pull-off in the final. Not too much speed, but getting the job done, and Bison scores 90.58. Then it was the turn of Kim Jensen from Alling-Åbro, second in the points table with Hingston. He's got a Scania V8, which he opens up. Cruising along and easily past the mark set by Bison. And it's 101.48 for Hingston, and he'll be regretting the 2 disqualifications he's had this year. Without them, he'd be challenging for the top spot. Right, this is the last to pull in the final. It's not Herbie, who had 5 straight victories, but Blue Lightning and Thomas Berg. He's had many problems this year. Oh, and now it looks like another has just paid a visit. Probably his turbo of his previous problems or anything to go by. 78.29 is the distance for Blue Lightning. The Red Rooster kept the crowd entertained. Starting right. Drifting left. Oh, and then giving the announcer a nasty fright. Let's see it again. This is from the camera on the sledge. Going right, and then where's that announcer? And then it was Anja Hansen. She had the speed of the class leader, but not the sense of direction. And she was not happy with that disqualification. Here it is again from the sledge. So the result, it was Hingston from Bison and Blue Lightning, but Herbie is still well in the lead going into the last 2 rounds, and you can see all the results at tractorpulling.dk. Now, as we look over the pit area, it's time for us to see the first Eurocup class of the day, the Pro Stocks, with no fewer than 17 competitors. John Deere from Denmark is at the top of the point standings, but the Dutch and the Finnish teams will push them all the way. We start with Bukka Bruiser and Jakob Jensen, who comes from Kleitrup between Viborg and Hobro. Second in the Danish championships at the moment. Oh, so close to a full pull, but just being stopped on the line. 97.07 for Bukka Bruiser. Now it's Geil Special with Paul Geil at the wheel. Paul comes from Uhi and doesn't really have the power to mix it with the big boys. Oh, Paul getting into problems and only just breaking the 30-metre line. 32.66 for Geil Special. Now from Jallerup in North Jutland, this is Blue Rabbit. 33-year-old Henrik Svenningsson has been pulling for 4 years, and his best result so far was second in the Nordic Championships last year. Will he be the first Dane with a full pull? Oh, another so close. 98.55 for the Rabbit.
No, we don't go in a pull again because we got lots of oil come out of the engine right now. We cannot fix it. So it's better for us to quit now. We got a very nice pull and the engine is okay. Now do we make 1 pull more? Perhaps the engine is going sky high. So we stop.
This is Il Tempo Gigante, based in Kongens Tisted. Bo Svensson can get 1,500 horsepower from his 8.3 litre case engine. Not been a good season for him so far. He'll have his fingers crossed that it stays together on the track, which has got a lot of grip. Oh, bouncing a bit at the end, and just about 10 metres short. 89.21 for Il Tempo Gigante. Now on to some of the Eurocup contestants, starting with Rough Justice. Martin Nicholson has turned over the driving to Ted Nicholson, who's an engineer at Land Rover. They don't have an intercooler, so they're finding it difficult to compete at the highest levels, but if they finish in the top 10, they'd be happy. And I think that pull would have done that. 98.07 for Rough Justice from England. Here's another Brit, Mike Turbo Simmons, and his Valtra called Ice Bear. In fact, earlier today they were frantically changing their turbo, which they found had broken, so they'd be hoping it holds together. Getting into the nervous 90s and then halting abruptly. 91.22 for Ice Bear. Broken exhaust gasket, so he's got some work to do before he heads back across the North Sea. Now from Holland, this is Rennie Manders and Bad Boys Toy. It's a Perkins V8 in a Massey Ferguson chassis. We're getting very unbalanced, and that will be a very unpleasant ride for Rennie. I think he'll be happy it's over. 81.97 for the Dutchman. Now this is another Valtra. Mike Simmons' teammate Andy Miller and Baby Bear. Not exactly a straight line. And his brake corrections will have cost him speed and distance. Just 83.86 for Baby Bear. This is what it looked like from the sledge camera. And he was lucky he didn't go out. Now this is John Deere, second in last year's Eurocup, currently in first place and hoping to stay there. Mikkel Galsgaard opening up the John Deere. And he's looking good. Oh, but cutting it very fine. Just a few centimetres over 100, but good enough for the first full pull of the day. Let's look at it again from our side camera. You can really appreciate the speed they make down the track. Nice one, Mikkel. And now Niels Damgaard hoping to do the same with Blue Bambino. Niels from Aulum, where he has his own Mesquite station, which is the place where they hire out agricultural equipment. Oh yes, 2 Danes in the pull-off final, where there are also 3 from Holland and 3 from Finland. Starting the pull-off final is Extreme Temptation, driven by William van der Vos. Currently third in the Eurocup point standings, having won the last round at Putten in Holland. That was a nice pull from Willem. 93.48 for Extreme Temptation. Looking down at the start, where 26-year-old Matti Hurlevy is waiting to get the green from first flagman Willem Tamming. He does, and off he goes. 7th here in last year's European Championships, really screwing on the power. But 92.7 won't win anything today. But his mother Anna, pleased with the run. She films every pull and travels with the team. She better get the video camera started again because her husband is the next to pull. Sigma Power with Pekka Hurlevy. Many times European champion and always with the Finnish manufacturer. Always trying to find new ways of getting more speed from the Valtra. Let's see what he can do today. Oh, this will be close. 11 centimeters less than Extreme Temptation. 93.37 for Sigma Power. Now the third of the Valtra team. That's Antti Hupper. He's driving what used to be called Doris, but as Johanna Hurlevy is expecting a happy event shortly, Antti, who's been a mechanic with Hurlevy's, has taken over the hot seat and the D has been changed to B, and so Boris is high in the air, looking for grip and finding quite a lot of it. .95.41 for Boris from Finland. Now it's the turn of Niels Damgaard, the 60-year-old veteran who he said he has no thoughts of retiring just yet. But this is not good. No speed off the line and trickling to a stop just past 20 meters. 25.17 for Bambino.
Yeah, no, a lot.
And Niels said, oh, that was rubbish. Something was very wrong. I'm not quite sure, but maybe it was the pump. I could note right at the beginning that it wasn't doing right, so that's it. Now John Deere has a 6-point lead, so this could be the most important pull of the year for Mikko Galsgaard. He needs 94.52 to take the lead. Oh, something broke with inside of the flag. That was not good. 91.26, and that's not good news, because here is Rocky from Holland, 6 points behind the Deere, and Barend Hoibriggs can smell blood. And Rocky is flying. Perfect pulling position, keeping it on line. Oh, and that is going to take some beating. 101.69 for the Dutchman. One more to pull, and John Deere is in 6th place. It's another tractor from Holland, this time a Valtra. Next sensation with Durian Duan. And this is a good attempt, but about 4 meters short. 97.01, and that's good enough for 2nd place with Boris 3rd. And in the point standings, Rocky has taken the lead and John Deere is now 9 points behind with just 1 round left.
We try to win every week, that's normal, but it's not easy to win in the Eurocup. And the last couple of years, last year we won the Eurocup, but we only have one time that we won the pool of the Eurocups. And this track is normally it's not so good for us, but we put more water in and we had a much better pool than we had for years over here.
Now we move on to the next class, the 4.5 ton modifieds, which is dominated by the Dutch, where there's a close battle for first place between Green Spirit and Intertechno Lambada. And here you can see the amount of weight that they put in the weight box. We check out the Danish tractors first, and we start with Black Clady, the second, and Lars Olsen from Vorgod Osterbo. It's a Transmash R6, and he has about 1,000 horses to play with, as against 8,000 from the Dutch guys. Not firing on all cylinders. He says a couple of cylinders weren't working, but we're up against the big boys, so we're quite happy with the result. Now Metal Boy with Mats Hansen, one of the Wilson team. The sun sinking slowly in the sky and setting directly behind the pullers, making it hard for the camera guys. Matt's doing the best he can with the hard sled setting. 59.81. Now, this is the second Danish tractor called Il Tempo Giganti, This time it's Jan Rasmussen in charge, and yet another finishing in the 50s, 54.42. Maybe the present leader in the Danish point standings can do better. It's Sorendal and Big Mama 2. The big Iveco V8 springing to life. And that's what 2,000 horsepower will get you on this track. .25 for Big Mama 2. On now to Leif Johansson and Slederholm. Had big problems with his back axle, but some weight alterations seemed to have helped. And then there were problems at the end. He said, well, I had problems with the rear axle. It was a hard track with lots of grip, and now I need a new axle. Second in the Eurocup points table, Green Spirit, two enormous Rolls-Royce Griffin engines from planes from World War II, 8,000 horsepower, and Peter Direct is desperately trying to brake correct, but I don't think he's kept it in, and Green Spirit is disqualified.
Tractor too strong. It's a pity, but it wasn't possible to keep him in line, so it's pity for the championship. The tractor's running like a hell, but I think we lose now the Eurocup championship.
Well, that's sad for Green Spirit and Peter Direct. On now to Keep and Curl. 4 Isotov jet engines. They won in the Eurocup in 2002, but this has been a bad year for 42-year-old Paul Heisterman, who comes from near Munster, close to the Dutch border. He's keeping close to the right-hand line. But it's not good enough for a full pull. 91.56 for Keep and Curl. 9 people with a grandstand view on top of the Fox trailer, and they're waiting for this. Fox is without doubt the most competitive Danish tractor in this class, and everyone is hoping he can make a full pull here this evening. Well, it's looking good at the moment. The 5 Oldsmobile are belting out the power. Sailing over for a full pull. Nice one there, Martin. He said a really nice pull. We adjusted the motors and now it's working well. And first into the arena for the final is Whispering Giant, getting the name from the jet passenger plane the Comet. But these jet engines come from Russian helicopters. 4 Isotovs, 8,000 horsepower, flying high. Where does he land? Well, it's over 90 meters. 93.04 for Hans Zubier and Whispering Giant. It's after 8 in the evening and still lots of people here as we go over to Green Fighter. This time it's Allison engines. Again, fighter planes from the last war. It's going to be close, but not close enough to allow Enrico Volaton to take the lead. 91.15 is the distance. Now Ivan is always competitive with Martin Allcrass, now handing over the reins to 23-year-old Christian Sommer from Langenburg in Germany. 3 Isotov DV3s giving him a lot of thrust. I think the camera angle's deceptive. Just in front of Green Fighter by 38 centimetres, 91.93. Now this is Baby Duck from Belgium, driven by 29-year-old Gert Whitak, who's a truck mechanic from Antwerp. Another 4 Isotov configuration. Twice European champion in 2003 and 2006, but never won the Eurocup. And he's not going to win today either. What's the distance for Gert? 83.78 for Baby Duck. Now, here is the Eurocup leader, Intertechno Lambarda, driven today by 28-year-old Wim Dingering from Zwolle. He's a fireman by trade. 5 Keith Black Stage 10 engines, each one costing 250,000 Danish kroner. This is state-of-the-art pulling technology and doing the business. Wim and his brother Gert think they've won this evening with a distance of 100.6, but there's still 2 more to pull. Here's the first, Delta Lloyd Simply Irresistible, driven tonight by Bastian Bouting, who rebuilds engines for a living. They've rebuilt this tractor this year. It's a new rear end, but they've kept the gearbox. 4 Chevys and a Keith Black giving about 8,000 horses. Flirting with the left-hand line, but staying safe and making 84.04. And now, the last to pull. That's Fox, Martin Larsson. Can he get on the podium? We'll soon find out. The big crowd here this evening are roaring him on. Oh, but he's beginning to slow. Oh, now it's steam up, and that doesn't look too healthy at all. 79.2 for Fox and 7th place. He said, well, we had hoped to get a straighter run. I braked a lot and we lost distance, but it was a shame we broke an engine, but we have another for tomorrow. So the result was a win for Intertechno Lambada with Whispering Giant second and Ivan third. And it was bad news for Green Spirit, who's still second but no longer a threat to the team from Zwolle. As we go over to the victory rostrum.
Yes, Green Spirit had a problem with the line. Yeah, that's very bad. But now I'm hooked up in bed 1. There's 2 points is enough, so we can drive with 1 engine.
Yes, and Lambada almost certain to make it 5 wins in 6 years, and that's impressive. In the other class, which was run on Saturday, Hercules XL won the 4.5-ton farm stocks. Now don't forget you can see all the results at tractorpulling.dk, and these are the remaining events in the Danish calendar. Well, that's it from Herning Pulling Arena. Enjoy your tractor pulling. This is Roger England saying stay safe and bye.